The U.S. military once proposed blowing up American ships, hijacking planes, and bombing U.S. cities, then blaming it all on Cuba. The year was 1962, and the Cold War had brought the United States and the Soviet Union dangerously close to conflict. A year earlier, the disastrous Bay of Pigs invasion, an attempt by U.S.-backed Cuban exiles to overthrow Fidel Castro, had failed, hardening the resolve of the communist regime in Cuba and embarrassing the Kennedy administration. With Soviet influence growing just 90 miles from Florida, pressure mounted on the Pentagon to find a definitive solution to the Cuba problem. Within this atmosphere, the Joint Chiefs of Staff began drafting plans for U.S. military intervention. On March 13, 1962, the JCS presented a top-secret proposal to Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara, titled Justification for U.S. Military Intervention in Cuba. This proposal, later known as Operation Northwoods, detailed a campaign of false flag operations that would be blamed on Cuba, with a goal to create widespread public and international outrage, thereby manufacturing a formal justification for war that would compel Congress and the American people to support an invasion of Cuba. The proposals included a staged shoot-down of a friendly U.S. aircraft, a drone painted as a civilian plane, off the coast of Cuba, then introducing false evidence implicating the Cuban military, sinking of a boat carrying Cuban refugees, and using the resulting victims to fuel public anger. Developing a communist Cuban terror campaign in the Miami area, in other Florida cities, and even in Washington. This involved bombing civilian targets and committing acts of sabotage, planning a series of calculated incidents near the U.S. naval base at Guantanamo Bay, including firing mortars into the base and setting fires. The plan emphasized the need for a logical buildup of incidents that would combine with other unrelated events to camouflage the ultimate objective. Operation Northwoods was unanimously authorized and signed by all members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, including Chairman General Lyman L. Lemnitzer. However, the proposal faced a roadblock: the White House. When the plan was presented to President John F. Kennedy's administration, Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara and subsequently President Kennedy rejected the proposal. The official documents confirm that none of the suggested false flag operations under Operation Northwoods were ever carried out. The Kennedy administration would later pursue other, less drastic forms of covert action against Cuba. The existence of Operation Northwoods remained classified for nearly 4 decades. It was only declassified and made public in 1997 by the John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Review Board.